Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We got lots to talk about with the markets and what's going to happen next. When are we going to see that recovery pump? Everybody's waiting. Everybody's asking the questions. Could we even dump further before we see the pump? I want to talk about all that. I'm still bullish, by the way. We are in a bull market. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the heart button wherever you're watching or listening. Come on in, everybody. David Dixon, welcome. DC Life, XRP to the moon for sure. Etron, good morning. How are you? Eric DM 101. Hi from Netherlands. Welcome in, Eric. Steve Marshall, good to see you. Aaron C says, we need a pump. We certainly do. But we got to be a bit patient. Things are a bit choppy in the market, and we'll talk a bit about that. XRP New Zealand, welcome in. Crypto Chevy says, hodl, hands all day, every day. Yeah, for sure. The only way to make money in this market is to have strong hands. You got to hold through the volatility. If you have weak hands, you're moving with the wind, right? Oh, no, the market's down. I need to panic sell. No, you're not going to make money that way because you're moving by emotions. Peter, the cabbage eater. I love your interviews. Thank you, Peter. Michael M., thank you. Thank you for being a channel member. James Wilson, welcome in from the UK. D Pitty, how's it going? Scar Space, if I'm saying that right. Welcome in from Denmark. Good to see you. I have to visit sometime, for sure. David R. Morla, if I'm saying that right. Welcome in. Stephane, from Quebec. Martin from Denmark, welcome in. We got a lot of folks from around the world here, guys. It's pretty awesome. Good morning, Dan. David R. Moria. Jasu. Welcome in. What's the reason from Dallas? Bow Dog, been watching your YouTube channel for 5 years now. Thank you so much, Bow Dog. I appreciate that. Hopefully I've been of help. I've shared some valuable information that's helped you to make money. David R. Morla, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Tanya from Dublin, Ireland. Wow. Cass Ard from Vegas. Greetings. Welcome in. Cass Ard's actually on X, watching on X. So we're streaming on YouTube, X, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, guys. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on the way in and the subscribe button, the heart button, wherever you're watching and listening. Okay, guys, we got to talk. What's happening with this market? What the hell is going on, right? I know that's the big question everybody wants to know. Why is the market continuing to fake us out? Why does it seem like Bitcoin's going to pump and then all of a sudden it starts to dump, right? We're getting all of these fake outs. We're getting these bull traps. We're not going anywhere. Well, the good sign is that we are still in the bull market zone. There has been no invalidation of the bull market. We are still above the 200-day and 200-week moving average, way above it, as you can see here, right? We are way above the respective lines. When we go below these trend lines, guys, that's the bear market. Notice here in 2022, below the 200-week moving average, bear market. Above it, bull market. Now, are there times in the bull market that we go below? Sure, like what happened in August of last year. But you need additional signals and validation to say, oh, no, that's it. The bull market's over. So we are clearly above the bull market trend, right? And these weekly moving averages and so forth. So that's a very good sign. The problem is we are in a extended consolidation. And this is where people get shook out. They get shaken out, right? Because the market starts to play with their emotions. Now, if you're looking at the market from a data standpoint, you're not worried. But the majority of folks are still, learning what's happening here. And this market is very volatile. So don't get shaken out, guys. Don't get shook out. That is the main takeaway here. We are still in a bull market. If you walk away with just 2 pieces of information from this live stream, we are still in a bull market. Don't get shaken out. Now, if something does change, let's say tomorrow there's complete invalidation of what I'm saying, then I will be here saying, dude, start exiting the market. But there's no signs of that. And I'm going to share data, not my emotions, not my gut feeling, right? Because we don't want to move by those things. Those are not, that's not the way to invest. I think many of you know that. Now, it's easier said than done because we're all human. We all see the price go down and we start feeling some fear and we start seeing our portfolio going down. But we got to be patient, guys. Let's start looking at data. So once again, we are trending above the 200-week moving average, so that's good. The DXY is finding weakness. It is breaking down. I tweeted out about this yesterday. Essentially, let me pull it up here. So the DXY, and multiple analysts are highlighting this. So shout out to Raoul Powell and the guys at Real Vision, highlighting a similar pattern to what we saw in 2016 to 2017, and the DXY is starting to break down. So you may say, why are we facing this long-term consolidation? Well, part of it has to do with macro factors, and that is with tariffs, that is with the Fed and interest rates. You had the DeepSeek scare, right? The AI stuff from China and much more. But the majority of it is, kind of tariff related. And also Raoul Powell, macro investor, at Global Macro Investor, did a great job highlighting the United States right now is in a currency war with China and many other countries. So that's why we saw the DXY pump with Bitcoin and crypto in Q4. We've never seen anything like this. It's pretty much an outlier because historically there's been an inverse correlation, but Bitcoin was pumping, XRP was pumping, and the dollar was pumping. How is that possible, right? But it was an outlier because this is, once again, Trump and the US government doing some currency war. Part of it is the tariffs. So I expect that stuff to ramp down, and the dollar is already starting to break down, guys. And multiple analysts are confirming this. So that's a very good sign. The other sign that's really good is that the global liquidity, the global M2, is on its way up again. It's starting to recover. So that is a good sign. And what we've seen historically is that global liquidity drives asset prices. So we are in a macro bull market, I've been telling you guys for the past 2 years, of real estate, crypto, stocks, precious metals. Look at the gold chart. Gold has been leading a lot before the other assets like crypto. So gold continues to pump. That's a good sign. Once again, if you put the backdrop of we are in a macro bull market, right, for all these assets driven by global liquidity. So another data point to say, guys, it's not over yet. Don't get shook out. Don't panic sell. Don't operate by your emotions. The data is not aligning to this bull market being over. Let's go into some other data points. For example, the Pi cycle top indicator has not flashed. This is when the 350-day, the 111-day moving average touches and sometimes crosses the 350-day moving average. This has been a pretty solid indicator of the tops going back to 2013, 2014. Now, doesn't mean it has to stay perfect forever, but in conjunction with the other metrics, it is not signaling a top yet. Now, they are moving closer together. That's a good sign, but it's not signaling the top is in. Another chart, and let me go back to this right here. So the folks at Global Macro Investor also have their own version of this, the Bitcoin Cycle Top Finder. Notice it is nowhere near what it has been in the past. And it doesn't mean it has to go as high as it has in the past, but it's obviously not even halfway there. So multiple signals highlighting that this thing is not over. Same thing with the CBBI. It's the Bitcoin Bull Run Index. While it is up near the top zone, not the top itself, but the top zone, it is not at the levels of 90 and above of the top being in. So another indicator saying, hey, top's not in. Also, Bitcoin whales, right? The whales move the market, guys. Regardless of whatever narratives are out there, the data doesn't lie. They continue to accumulate. They're not selling off like they did in March of 2024 when we had the local top for Bitcoin with the ETF launch. Many of you recall that. They've been accumulating since. And while there's some plateauing here, there's no drop. There's no downward trend. Okay, so we want to look for the trend here. This is wallets of 10 or more Bitcoin. That's a positive sign. When the whales start dumping, that is a big indicator that we need to pay attention. This thing may be in. In addition, their coins, the Bitcoin, or I should say Bitcoin is not being moved on the exchanges to be sold. So in March, like I mentioned, of 2024, notice the supply was high, right? Going even into August. And then it started dropping. So when this starts reversing, that means they're moving the coins back on the exchanges ready to sell. That is not happening. So notice I've given you different data points here and not my emotions or feelings that this thing is not over and we have to go through the roller coaster ride of this volatility, guys. And even if you look at certain altcoins like XRP, the chart still looks very bullish, right? You know, we could say, okay, Bitcoin, let's exclude Bitcoin for the moment. I don't see anything bearish here. I just see support levels being tested, right? Pump, pull back, support, pump, pull back, support, waiting for the next pump. So that's what I'm looking at, the data, the charts, and what is it telling me? And I don't see any evidence of a top being in due to multiple factors. Now, I know many of you are going to say, well, Tony, when are we going to pump? Well, I think Bob Lucas, great analyst, and I know him personally, he's highlighting that this consolidation is going to take longer and potentially we can go lower and it could go late into February. So the pump that we may be looking for may come till the latter half of February, and that is like the 20th and onward. So be prepared for more volatility and more downside in the coming weeks. So just have that in the back of your mind, okay? It is going to take some time. And once again, the gold chart is a very good indication that there's liquidity cycling through these different asset classes because we saw gold ripping last year ahead of the crypto market. So this is a good sign. But once again, we're in a macro bull market. Look at the real estate, look at the stock market, and so forth. So I like where things are at. Don't get me wrong, I don't like the prices, but I like that where the setup, the macro is setting up, the DXY is correcting, global liquidity is turning. We're seeing some movement for gold and these different things for us to see a continuation of this bull market. So we really got to be patient. We really have to not get caught up in the volatility because when you zoom in, you see the madness here, right? You look at this, fake out, fake out, fake out, right? But when you zoom out, it's nothing. It's a blip, nothing, right? And there's still, based on the Fibonacci models, we still got room for upside here. Obviously, no guarantees because no one has a crystal ball. But if we look at the past bull market cycles and using a Fibonacci model, there's still room to run up here. And it could be Bitcoin doesn't even go to the 3.618. It just goes to the 2.618. But the likelihood that it has topped here at the 1.618, low probability. And once again, not my feelings or emotions, but based on what we've seen historically, based on different signals and indicators. And I like what I'm seeing on the macro, guys. And that is global M2 breaking out. And then speaking of macro, I love what Thomas on Markets had to say. It's something I've been mentioning to you guys that U.S. government will soon begin to draw down of the Treasury General Account, the TGA. They have about $830 billion in there. Technically, this is not quantitative easing, but it's a form of quantitative easing. If they're going to inject liquidity and money, it's a pseudo quantitative easing. And of course, he mentions here, look, the government, they're going to hit their debt ceiling. What do they always do, guys? They put on a show. Oh, you got Democrats, Republicans, you idiots, blah, 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 blah. And then what do? Raise the debt ceiling. Because if they don't, the government can't function, collapse of the government, collapse of our society, right? They just put on the show to make you think that this is all, something's going on, but they have to keep printing. Just understand the system we live in. There's nothing that changes it unless they go back to some sort of hard money gold standard. They have to keep printing. They have to keep raising the debt ceiling. This happens everywhere. Central Bank of Canada, UK, wherever. They have to keep doing this. So he's expecting here possibly an injection of this liquidity, and this is going to drive the total global liquidity higher. This is very good for risk assets. So this is something to keep an eye on, and I'm going to watch it closely. And I know, guys, we're focused on investing in crypto. I know many of you just want to see your coin prices go up, but you have to understand what is driving these things. There's been a lot of narratives in the past, but one thing I've learned from a lot of the institutional investors in interviewing them and talking to many of them off the record, talking to different hedge funds and VCs, this is what they look at, guys. And that's why I'm trying to share with you. I'm trying to share that knowledge I've learned, and it opened up my understanding about what drives markets to forget about political talking points and look at what the Fed is doing. And that's the key. Don't get me wrong, politics is important. We all vote, we all do our thing, right? But when it comes to investing, the political narratives many times are a smokescreen, it's grandstanding, it's just to distract you. But when you go back to what the Fed is actually doing, the people who control the money, the central banks, it'll help you understand the market cycles. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Now, before we get into any of the news, guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, hit the 5-star rating, subscribe wherever you're watching and listening. Guys, be sure to subscribe to my free email newsletter. It's on Substack, link will be in the description. Check out my new course. It's a comprehensive course that features experts like founders, CEOs, and many more. It's mycryptocourse.com. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon and check out our sponsors, Uphold, Propy, BitGo, VeChain. All the links will be in the description. All right. Crypto investment products see $1.3 billion in weekly inflows despite Trump tariff woes. So there are people buying the dip. And I'm going to be looking to buy the dip on certain altcoins. I have not bought yet because I'm watching to see what the market's going to do. If it's going to go a bit lower, my bags are pretty much set. But if things get a bit lower, it would be a good buying opportunity. So net inflows into global crypto investment products jumped to $1.3 billion last week, nearly doubling from the week before, according to asset manager CoinShares. It marks the 5th consecutive week of net inflows for investment products despite the sharp price drop following President Trump's tariff announcements. So I hope you see what's happening here. BlackRock and all these guys are telling their clients to put their money in the market, and BlackRock bought a ton of Ethereum for their ETFs. We saw even Trump's World Liberty Financial bought a ton of Ethereum and different other coins. So people are buying the dips, guys. So this is what you want to look at, right? What are they doing? Selling or buying? What are the whales doing? We are seeing accumulation happening. Now, that doesn't mean you should blindly jump into the market and buy, because we could see further downside, further volatility. But if your view is macro, right? You're looking, I don't expect, to have a return in the next 2 months, but maybe in the next 8 to 10 months, right? You want to have that larger time frame view, because in the short term, midterm, it could be volatile. But this is a good sign that things are, being bought up. MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor bought more Bitcoin, 7,633 Bitcoin. This is pretty wild. Man, I hope everything works out for Saylor, because he's using a lot of leverage to buy Bitcoin. And the leverage part is what scares me. Not that he's buying Bitcoin, the leverage. So historically, we've seen when Wall Street and different firms use excessive amounts of leverage, you never know what could happen. Some sort of black swan event, whatever it may be, and that could put you in trouble. So I hope nothing bad happens here, but he continues to buy. One thing we are seeing is that crypto adoption is moving faster than mobile phones, and then I should say at the pace, a faster pace than the adoption of mobile phones and internet. So crypto has hit 300 million users in 12 years, 43% faster than mobile phones and 20% faster than the internet per BlackRock. So very, very interesting, guys. And Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, said, it really depends what you count as the official start year for Bitcoin, internet, and mobile phones to make this comparison. But regardless, this is directionally correct. Bitcoin adoption should get to several billion people by 2030 at current rates. I think he's spot on, because we're running on a faster infrastructure. A lot of people have smartphones, 5G, they have laptops and so forth. So the world is connected via the internet. We're doing commerce already. So it's easy to present Web3 to them, and with crypto, stable coins, tokenization, NFTs, all these things. Now, the meme coin madness continues. Guys, a country has launched a meme coin. The Central African Republic has launched a coin called CAR. And I guess is this the president? Yeah, the president tweeted out an experiment designed to show how something as simple as a meme coin unite people, support national development, and put Central African Republic on the world stage in a unique way. Guys, what a time we're living in. And he says, as the second president in the world to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender, I have always recognized the potential of crypto and its benefits on a global scale. Something tells me this is not going to end well. I hope they don't rug pull people, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Central African Republic is one of the poorest countries in the world. And look, if it works out well and they're able to use the money for the right thing and do the right thing for the people, then I'm all for it. But I don't know if there's that accountability there and that transparency. So let's see. But you guys know how I feel about meme coins. It's pretty much going to Vegas and gambling, right? Throwing it on black or red on the roulette table. So be careful, guys. And even Dave Portnoy launched his own meme coin called Jailstool. He says he made like $2 million from like a $25,000 investment. But be careful, because you see these things, but you don't know at which part of the cycle of that meme coin you're entering in, and you could easily get rugged, right? So be careful out there, guys. There's a lot of meme coins, a lot of people starting stuff, and many of you saw what happened to the crowd that invested in Haktua coin, right? And then she disappeared and then came back and crying and everything. I'm sorry, but who got screwed? The people who bought it, right? So be careful, guys. Look, I'm not telling you how to invest your money. I'm just giving you the warning, the information, right? To be careful and understand the risk. If you understand the risk and you're like, you know what, I don't care, I'll put $100 on this meme coin. If I lose it, I lose it. Then that's fine. The thing I'm worried about is people who go put their life savings. They're like, I'm going to put $10,000 into this meme coin. And then they get rugged and they lose their 10,000, right? $100, okay. A couple $100, okay. No one's gonna lose sleep necessarily over that. The problem is people who put thousands of dollars and money they can't afford to lose. So be careful, guys. It's literally like going to Vegas and gambling. You could be up a little bit, or you could lose all of it, and it's gone just like that. So just be careful. A lot of meme coins. It's crazy. Obviously, I told you guys I wasn't a fan of Trump's meme coin. I thought Trump's meme coin was probably one of the factors that hurt the market a bit in slowing us down to consolidation, because it stole so much liquidity from the other coins. So it's tough out there. I don't think any president, Democrat or Republican, should do that. And then his wife launched one, and someone launched one for his son. Crazy times. Hopefully, guys, as the bull market continues, we see less meme coins and we see more movements from quality coins like Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Cardano, Chainlink, Avalanche, and so forth, right? Sui, Stellar, coins that have been around for a long time, working with real companies, building real technology globally. So, but I also believe in the free market. So I can't tell people don't invest in this and the government should stop this. There's no way I could do that because I believe in the free market. But I do believe in educating people and warning them of the risks so that as adults, they make their decisions, but they can't say, hey, you didn't warn me. Hey, you didn't tell me, right? So I think the warning and the disclosure, so to speak, needs to be there. All right, I'm going to answer some questions in the chat, guys. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Hit the 5-star rating. Subscribe. Hit the heart button wherever you're watching and listening. Check out my newsletter, 100% free, link in the description. Check out my new course, mycryptocourse.com. Check out my book on Amazon. Check out our sponsors, Uphold, Propy, BitGo, VeChain. All the links will be in the description. All right, let's see the chat. What's going on in chat? Let's see. Marcus Brutus says there must be any legal repercussions for token creators for rug pulling. Yeah, absolutely. I think some laws have to be put into place. It's not that you can't launch a meme coin. It's that you need to have proper tokenomics and you're not rugging people. So it's twofold. To your point, Marcus, one part, educating the public, like this is gambling. This is going to Vegas. You can do it if you want. We're not stopping you, but understand the risk. And then also there is how casinos, they get audited. Casinos get policed. The people who launch meme coins need to get policed as well so they don't rug people. Jas J says, what do you think about Flare this year? So Jas, I am bullish on Flare. I am a Flare token holder. Let me see if I can pull up something here. So Flare, I'm delegating my Flare right now. It's locked up, but to be honest, once the price starts to move, I'm going to unlock and start to take profits because I'm here to make money. So right now I'm delegating. Flare obviously moved off of the bear market bottom. That's a good sign, right? Any coin that hasn't moved off the bear market bottom might be in trouble. Not to say it won't move at all, but it won't have the same upside as other coins, if you know what I mean. You got to get started, right? You got to have some momentum and get started before you can hit new highs. So I think, honestly, and not financial advice, I think Flare could break the old all-time high and, if possible, maybe go to 10 cents, 12 cents, maybe that area, possibly higher. We'll have to wait and see. It's a coin that is very connected to XRP. Obviously, there was the snapshot for XRP holders. They're launching DeFi capabilities for XRP, staking, and much more. So I am bullish on this project. Charles Paul, welcome in. Thank you for being a channel member. Peter the Cabbage Eater says, Tony, after regulations and legislation in the USA, along with ETF and institutions adoptions, will the next bear market be the same as the previous bear markets? Peter, that's a great question. It is a tough one to answer, and I'll share my honest thoughts with you. So I believe markets are cyclical, and regardless of what happens, they will correct. Now, to your question, will it correct as deep as we've seen, right? Like, will it go down 80%? Maybe not. Maybe it goes to 50%, Peter, or 60. Not as deep as the previous markets because, to your point, you have the ETFs buying up. More people may be long-term holders. More firms are holding long-term. But some of it is to be seen because we don't know if BlackRock is going to say, hey, clients, we think this is the top of the market. Start exiting so you can make your returns. And how many of those folks will do that? Or how many are holding for a longer term horizon, maybe another 10 years, right? So that's a big question. There is a probability that the correction is not as deep because of the things you mentioned, right? More legislations, the ETFs. But I will say, I can guarantee there will be a correction because markets move in that way, right? Cyclical. Boom and bust, pump and then correct, right? So this is true for the stock market. Look at the stock market. It has ETFs, it has everything, but there has been corrections along the way, right? And similar to what crypto experienced in 2022, Look at the S&P 500 with ETFs, with regulations and everything, still corrected. So keep these things in mind, that sometimes people try to tell you, oh, this time is different, nothing's going to happen. But the nature of markets they're cyclical. So you have to keep these things in mind, guys. And I do think there will be a correction. How deep? Maybe less deep than what we've seen historically. But let's see. Voice of Reason says, Trump coin, you might be wrong about. It's included in meme coin ETF. Yeah, well, look, in general, it's nothing to do with Trump specifically. In general, I am not a big believer in meme coins, in a sense that I don't have it in my portfolio. I don't invest in it. I'm not saying you can't invest in it, because I believe in the free market. When it comes to a president launching a meme coin, that's where I don't agree, right? And that's okay. You know, we can all disagree and we have our own opinions. So I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever. I don't believe a president should launch a meme coin. Let's see. Bowdog says, it hasn't been easy. It's a hard ride. You're spot on. And Bowdog, that is why it's so important to understand the principles of investing. And it does take time to learn these things. Patience is so important. And you have to go back to data. And I know some of this may be kind of like confusing for some folks. Go back to global liquidity, guys. This is what really opened my eyes when I understand the correlation of all these assets to global liquidity and the dollar. And the more weaker the dollar becomes, the better it is for risk assets. And what drives the weaker dollar is the more money printing and, you know, debasement of the currency that they do. So once you understand this, or you have this as your foundation, this is the foundation of your investment thesis or your investment house, right? If we use the analogy of a house, you build your foundation on this, then you go back to these foundational elements when the market gets crazy and volatile like this, right? To know, what are the governments doing? Because that is what's driving the market. And as mentioned earlier, we're seeing gold starting to make a move again. Very good sign, because we're in a macro bull market. What is it? Algo, if I'm saying that right. What is your take on HBAR and FET? So I hold both HBAR and FET. I am bullish on both. I'm hoping HBAR can do really well. Excuse me. Let's see here. Which chart was I using? Binance. Yeah. Okay. Good sign for HBAR, as mentioned with Flare. It is off the bear market bottom. That's what you want to see. This coin has risen, right? It has broken through multiple Fibonacci levels. So it is not far from its all-time high of around, what is that? 58 cents, 60 cents. So as the bull market continues, I expect HBAR to make new highs. How high will it go? That's the big question. If we're using Fibonacci model, possibly $1.50. That would be amazing. I mean, I will make some nice returns. I'm sure many of you as well, because I've been buying, bear market bottoms below, 5 cents and lower, I think, historically. So I think HBAR can do well. There's the ETF filings for the I can't remember how many people filed. A couple, I think, filed for an HBAR ETF. They have a lot of building and adoption, a lot of people who are part of their governing council. So I think HBAR can do well, but no guarantees, right? This is why we diversify. But if we want to see good signs, we want to say, hey, are we seeing anything positive? Hell yeah, we're seeing positive stuff. It's off the bear market bottom. Good sign there. Jas Hay says, crypto as we know it, patterns and everything up to this year will fundamentally be changed. Jas, you got to give more details, because what are you basing that on? Mother Mert says, 100% agree. I like Trump, but thought launching me. Yeah, right. I mean, two things can be true. You like Trump as a president, but you disagree with the meme coin, right? People sometimes can't process that, hey, two things can be true at the same time, right? That you don't have to agree or follow someone like a robot. Like, you have to think for yourself. Cass Art says, what interests me, during the lawsuit, Ripple did business outside the US. Now there is a shift that a lot of business can be done in the US. How big do you think this is a positive effect on all nations looking at what the US is doing? Some nations, I figure, are just following what the US is doing. Yeah, I think you're spot on, Cass. I interviewed Chris Giancarlo, former CFTC chairman, and some other folks, and they're telling me, another lawyer actually, saying businesses are coming back. And a lot of the other countries which gained those businesses because of the US's stance are starting to panic, because they're like, oh no, we're going to lose the businesses, we're going to lose the tax revenue, we're going to lose the jobs. So to your point, the US people are going to rush back to the United States. So it's going to be very beneficial. US is the largest capital market. They're going to get more funding, more liquidity. So very, very good for the US. Now, obviously, if you're outside the US, you may say, that kind of sucks. But, look, I think entrepreneurs exist all over the world. Many will start new businesses. And to your point, Cass, that if the United States gets legislation through, a lot of other countries are going to follow the same model. And they're going to help to foster innovation in their own country and jurisdiction. Eric DM 101 says, do you think a DeFi project with 100 million tokens has good tokenomics? It's called Convex Finance. Eric, I don't know about this project, but 100 million coins is not bad, because there's others with billions and hundreds of billions, right? The tokenomic, in a sense of supply, that's pretty good, but it depends on the release schedule. Have they released a lot of it out in the market? Are they locking up some of those tokens? So that's where you got to look at the token unlock schedule. And is there burning of tokens, right? So these things you have to factor into, if you're looking to invest in these coins. Guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, hit the 5-star rating, hit the heart button wherever you're watching, listening. Once again, check out my newsletter, new course, mycryptocourse.com, book on Amazon, and our sponsors, Uphold, Propy, BitGo, VeChain. All the links will be in the description. So yeah, guys, we got to be patient. It could still be a very rough few weeks ahead, but I think later this month, and I go back to Bob Lucas's analysis, I think it's pretty legit, because I followed his other work. Doesn't mean he's absolutely correct, right? Because no one has a crystal ball, but from a probability standpoint, I think he might be spot on here, that we see additional consolidation, volatility, possibly a little more downside for Bitcoin. Then we rip, right? And seasonality of the markets will follow this, because we've seen March, April, and even into May, very bullish, have been really great for the markets. And then there's the sell in May go away. And the summer is usually kind of boring, right? Not much happening in the summer. Doesn't mean the market's over, just a lot is not happening. And then come Q3, you pick up some steam, and then Q4, things get crazy. However, keep this in mind. I wrote about it in my latest newsletter. Guys, blow off top in Q2 or Q4. This is something we have to watch closely. And Crypto currently did a great job outlining this. Let me share the chart here with you guys. This is something we need to watch, guys. And once again, we're talking probabilities here, right? Could we end early? I'm talking Q2, blow off top. That's it. We're done. That is a probability. He's saying it's likely. Now, could we follow that typical 4-year cycle and this thing goes to Q4? That's possible. Now, the unlikely scenario is that this thing is over, right? And we talked about the different metrics and signals that say it is not over. But something to keep in mind, and I'll be watching this closely like a hawk, and I'll be sharing the data with you guys, right? This is why I tell you, subscribe to the newsletter, because I share a lot of the information in here. Like, for example, what the whales are doing, supply and exchanges, different charts and metrics, global liquidity. So it's all here. You can once you subscribe, you can go to it anytime as a refresher, seasonality and all these things, right? So this is where, guys, I'm not sure what's going to happen. He could be right that this thing blows off in Q2 or it continues. So we have to pay attention and be ready. Have a cash out plan. Know what price points you're taking profits at. Now, if we go back to the bull market of 2020 and 2021, you guys recall that we technically had the blow off top in April of 2020. Massive correction, deep correction, but then a pump out of it. But this was more of a, I forgot what it's called, the technical term, and it went higher, but not by much. And many altcoins didn't follow Bitcoin in this move. So this is where we got to be prepared. Things can happen like this where no one saw it coming, right? A double top where this bearish, pullback, or I should say bearish downtrend flipped into a bullish, but then went into the ultimate bear market. It's hard because we don't have a crystal ball. This is why I tell you guys probabilities. So let's see, could the blow up top come in Q2 and we just top out at 160 for Bitcoin and altcoins run from there and that's it? It's possible. So just be prepared. Keep it in the back of your mind. That's what I'm doing. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm keeping it in the back of my mind. I may need to exit the market completely in Q2. I don't know if I'll have to do that, but like I said, I will share the metrics with you guys. If I see the whales, this thing is trending downwards, they're like dumping, they're moving tons of coins back on the exchange like they did just last year with the the Bitcoin ETF launch, buy the rumor, sell the news of it. If the Pi cycle top indicator and all these things are starting to flash, I'm going to be on here, guys. I'm exiting the market. I'm taking profits. Bowdog says, do you think Elon is helping to tokenize the federal government budget and that's why he's going through the federal payroll process system? Well, Doge is going through the whole audit of the government to check for fraud and wasteful spending, right? So that's the main agenda. But Elon says he wants to put government spending on the blockchain. And guys, we've been talking about it for years. The economy, the markets, the government's going to run on blockchain. Voting is going to go on blockchain, right? All of these things are going on blockchain. So, I think it's all going to go into blockchain. So it's a matter of when, not if. And I think the agenda, though, is to make sure that they reduce the government spending. XRP New Zealand says, time to get up when Elizabeth Warren launches a meme coin. if that happens, it might be the end of the world. Elizabeth Warren launching a meme coin. But I wouldn't put anything past her because she's that type of person, right? She'll go to the highest bidder. She just pretends to be this nice old granny. I'm for the people. I hate big banks. Yet, we saw what she did. She buddied up with Jamie Dimon to attack crypto, right? And remember, she was lobbied by these banks and TradFi institutions to slow crypto down, to try to stop the crypto startups. Because she didn't just wake up one day and say, I hate crypto, right? She doesn't even, half the time, she doesn't even know what she's talking about. But the game that's the political game. She was lobbied. Fred Williams says, hi, Tony, is Casper dead? Great choice, buddy. Thanks, Fred. Let me see here. I've heard a lot about Casper. I don't hold a token. I'm seeing multiple. I'm assuming it's CSPR, right? And not the other one. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, man. The chart looks brutal. Can't lie. Chart looks brutal. Let's see it on here. Casper, US dollar. Let's try this. I don't know if this one goes as far back. Let's see if we can find something. maybe crypto.com. This coin was launched. When was this coin launched? In 2022? Let's see. Okay, this chart is trying to find the chart that has the most history. Okay, this looks like it has the most history. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Fred, being honest with you, I'm not once again, I don't hate Casper or whatever. This chart is ugly as hell. My God. What the hell? What was the price of this thing? $30? Guys, that's a bad chart, Fred. Not saying that it can't run and go off of here, but the likelihood, it hasn't even bounced. So if you go to the micro, right, it hasn't bounced, Fred. So this is tough, if I'm being honest. Like down here, you see some bounces, right? You see some peaks over here, nothing. And the bull markets, So this is rough, guys. And I hope I have the right Casper here. If I'm looking at the right thing, you guys let me know. So this one is being honest, right? That does not look good. You want what we would have wanted to see is that this thing had bounced off the bear market bottom. It has not. It is down bad. It's bleeding out. But once again, that doesn't mean that when things get euphoric and the rising tide that lifts all boats, doesn't mean this can't pop off. But I don't. The fact that it hasn't moved yet, and it's a far away from that all-time high, right? It may not touch even the old all-time high. So just keep that in mind. Some coins are not going to run that strong, and this is a tough one. And I've often shared the Solana chart and then the XRP chart that we want to see the coins that you're holding look like this, right? They have bounced off the bear market bottom. They're showing strength. They've hit the all-time high. They've broken through, and that means they have a high potential of continuing to go higher. So you got to get off that bear market bottom first, though, because if you don't, you're kind of stuck in no man's land. So the good sign for like XRP, it got off that bear market bottom, and it's showing strength, right? It broke the all-time high, consolidating. So that means the potential probability for it to hit new highs is there. Now you look at the Casper chart, you're not seeing any of this, right? Even if you go to Cardano, and we talked about HBAR, right? Cardano, while it's not showing the same strength as XRP and Solana, it is up off the bear market bottom. So it has some strength here. Same thing with HBAR. Oops, that chart doesn't go too far back. Let's see what's the best one here. Binance. Yeah, okay, so HBAR, right? Fred, so for Casper, you want to see this. It's off the bear market bottom showing strength. So Casper's looking pretty rough right now. But this is why, once again, we diversify, because we just don't know what may not move or move. And like I said, it doesn't mean Casper won't move at all, but the likelihood that it's going to hit new all-time highs, touches old all-time high and break that, it's very low. So keep that in mind. Captain Kurt says, yeah, Kevin Cage does charts on this. Yeah, I know Kevin's, I think he's big into Casper. So you can check that out. Ben Laird, yeah, so Hedera, I mentioned that earlier. I'm bullish on it. I think HBAR has the ability to break the old all-time high and hit new highs and do well this bull market. I am a token holder, of course. Seconds of meditation. Thank you. Appreciate that. Paul Messi says, this cycle is different because of institutional investors. Money is flowing into ETFs, but hardly is flowing into alts. Well, money is flowing into ETFs, but not all of it. Remember that the ETFs is the boomers, right? The average Joe, so to speak. But if we look at the altcoins like I just showed, I mean, you can't say money hasn't flowed into XRP. You can't say money hasn't flowed into Cardano and some of these others, right? Or Solana as well. So I think what's going on is that the meme coins, I mean, just look at meme coins. Meme coins have kind of stolen some of the liquidity. And like I mentioned earlier, I don't agree with the Trump meme coin. I thought that was bad for the market. So meme coins have kind of sucked some of the liquidity out, but blue chip altcoins, Solana, XRP, Cardano, HBAR, are seeing movements. So we haven't seen the full mania phase. I think that's part of it. And remember that there's going to be XRP and Solana ETFs approved this year. We have an Ethereum ETF, and that's seeing good inflow. So I think we haven't hit that phase where the liquidity is going nuts and these altcoins start to rip. Guys, hit that thumbs up button, hit the 5-star rating, hit the subscribe button if you haven't as yet. Check out our sponsors. Check out my newsletter, 100% free on Substack. Check out my course, mycryptocourse.com. Book on Amazon. Sponsors Uphold, Proppy, BitGo, VeChain. All the links will be in the description. Captain Kurt says, rough times are when we buy. Yeah, absolutely. When you buy. Yeah, absolutely. That's how I've made money in this market, guys. And it's hard. Like, you have to unlearn the programming. And I don't know that's the right word. The programming you've gotten from financial TV, right? Because we've been trained to look at television and the news and take that as facts and what they're telling you about financial markets, what Jim Cramer's telling you, that you must do this and buy this, but that's you can't. They're not trying to do you a favor. They are working with institutional investors. That's the game. That's why inverse Cramer is a thing. Cramer sets up the exit liquidity many times. So you have to take the time, right, to understand the principles of the market. And this is why I try to share all this information with you guys. DXY, global liquidity, different indicators and signals. Forget Jim Cramer. Forget what the television's telling you, right? Forget about what your neighbor's telling you. What do you understand about the market? Forget about what I'm saying, right? If I'm pointing you to this stuff and you go and read it and the concept clicks for you, you're like, oh, I get it. I get what Tony's talking about here because this is the data, right? It's not Tony's data. It's the macro data. It's from the government and so forth. And this is what it's showing. And you see the correlation between the asset classes and global liquidity and the DXY and understand the market cycles. And you don't have to be an expert. Like, I'm not some expert Wall Street analyst. If I go sit at some firm in Wall Street, I wouldn't know what the hell to do. But from my years of doing research, learning as much as possible, I finally figured it out. And no, I'm not an expert trader. I don't day trade. I don't do leverage trade. I simply buy the lows. I think I tweeted out to you guys and I shared it. I bought December 2022 when FTX collapsed. I bought January 2023. And now my portfolio is up, guys. And that was a hard thing to do in December 2022. It was not easy. And I guarantee you, if I told my wife that I was buying then, she would have probably thought I was crazy, right? If I told many of you, hey, I bought X amount of Bitcoin, I bought X amount of this coin, I bought Fetch.ai, I bought more XRP, I bought more Solana. Many people were like, you're an idiot, you're stupid, you're going to lose your money, it's all going to hell, it's all crashing. But it's not. It's cyclical. It's cyclical. So when in doubt, zoom out. The data is right here. Guys, all of you right now, all of you can go to TradingView and look at the same chart I'm looking at. All of you can do it. I don't have, you know what I mean? I didn't draw this up. I didn't just make this up. This is actual market data out here. And you can go look at the stock market. You can go look at the DXY. You can look at the NASDAQ, everything. It's all there for you to go look at. This is a great thing about the time we live in with the internet and technology. You can go look this up, guys. And that's what I'm trying to share, the knowledge that I've learned and learned from people I've interviewed, learned from hedge fund guys, VCs that I've talked to off the record, to really understand what the hell is happening with the markets. Because there was a point I was moving by my emotions and that got me wrecked. And I realized, no, this is not the way, right? I can't be one day bullish, next day I'm bearish. No. I need to have a thesis, and that thesis needs to be backed by data. So this is why I can confidently come on here and say the bull market's not over. And here's why. Here are the data points. Not because I woke up happy this morning, not because the price is up today or down today. I can say the data shows we are not over. This thing is not done yet. Captain Kurt, appreciate your content over the past 4 years. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Username says, I bought when FTX collapsed because I figured that I have to lose this crazy. Tony guy said he throwing his own money into boost it. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it worked out for us, right? I'm assuming, username, your portfolio is up. Your portfolio has to be up from December 2022 to where we're at now. Like my portfolio is up. Like it is up very nice. If I cash out today, I will be very happy. But obviously, there's room for upside here, so I'm looking for more gains. Now, obviously, no one can call the exact top, and it's a top zone. So remember that it's a top zone we're looking for. That, hey, these signals are flashing, whales are starting to dump, all these things are flashing. Let's start taking profits. And then I have like a spreadsheet, guys, where I have different price points for Bitcoin, Solana, XRP. Like for example, I've told you guys $5. As soon as XRP hits $5, cash out. It goes higher, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, cash out, cash out, cash out, cash out, right? And that's how I'm doing it, because I know no one can call the exact top, and you never know what could happen. People sometimes don't forget about the risk aspect, that black swan events can happen, things can happen that throw off your plan. And it's best to cash out in stages, kind of ladder out. And this way you walk away from the bull market with money. Yeah, absolutely, username. Yeah, username. So I try to do more live streams in the bull market because it's more exciting, honestly, and there's a lot more to talk about. And then I get to answer your guys' questions and look at charts and things like that. So it's a good way to give back and help out folks, because I know sometimes listening to a recorded episode, you're not able to get that interaction, right? I can do this live, and hopefully it's helpful. Guys, hit that thumbs up button, hit the 5-star rating. If you guys want me to look at any coins, let me know. I'll probably do this for another 5 minutes or so and wrap it up. But the TLDR, guys, the takeaway, the two things I want you to take away from this live stream: the bull market's not over, and be patient. The volatility is meant to shake you out. And I started out by telling you guys about these fake outs, right? These bull traps, fake out, fake out, fake out. It's meant to make you upset and to shake you out and for you to panic sell. That's what it wants you to do. And like I said, there could be further downside. This thing could come down here, but the bull market indicators and signals are still intact. And just even looking at this, we're still above the 200-week moving average, right? And the moving day average as well. So we're good. Notice when we go below, that's when we're in a bear market. When we're above, we're still in the bull market, guys. And this is just one metric, right? There's multiple metrics: pi cycle top indicator, CCBBI, Bitcoin whales not dumping, Bitcoin whales not moving coins back on the exchange, multiple cycle top finders not flashing, global M2, global liquidity on the rise, breaking out, DXY breaking down, and gold is a leading indicator here that it's rallying. because it was rallying last year ahead of the crypto market. And I've been saying we are in a macro bull market for all assets, real estate, precious metals, crypto, stocks, and possibly later into February, maybe the latter half of February, when we find the bottom and we start moving. Maybe sooner, right? But just be prepared, mentally prepared. More volatility may be on the way. And once we bottom out, we're going to start ripping again. Thank you so much, Nastas Algo, if I'm saying that right. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support, my friend. Jeremy Hogan says we're probably going to see the XRP settlement before the ETH. Yeah, I agree with that, Kurt, because the SEC is going to want to get all the dust out of the way, so to speak, all these things that are open-ended out of the way before they approve an ETF. So it'll give more confidence to the market, right? Thank you, Marcus. Man, I'm happy to hear that, man. That I helped you to make some money, dude. You don't know how happy that makes me feel, because we're all trying to better our lives and get financial freedom. And the meme has been over the years that we're going to get Lambos. I don't personally want a Lambo. I want to eliminate all debt. I want to boost my lifestyle, improve my lifestyle, living conditions. Like, I have a house, but maybe I get a bigger house, right? I'm not saying I will, but maybe make improvements to this house, boost up my retirement, help out my family, and eliminating debt like a mortgage and so forth gives you freedom, because then I could travel more. I'm not worried about having to pay a mortgage or a rent, right? And that's the excuse me, that's the freedom I want to get to do what the hell I want. So if one day I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go spend the day at the beach, right? I don't have to worry about, oh no, I'm missing a day of work, this, that. And I'm sure many of you can relate to that. When in doubt, zoom out, for sure. Pompey Lil says, do you think we have to wait for Paul Atkins to be appointed before the case settles? Yeah, I spoke to Hester Peirce in my interview with her, was it early January or late December? And she hinted towards that they're not going to do anything unless Paul comes in, right? Even as you have the acting chair, as Mark Ueda, I think they're going to wait for Paul to come in, because some of it is like a culture. As weird as it sounds, Gensler set a certain standard. He's gone now, but you don't have a new chair in place who's going to say, hey, we're taking a directional shift here. We're going the opposite direction. You kind of need the chair to do that. And I think they may want to, in respect for Paul Atkins, have him come in and set the standard and drop some of these crazy cases. Fred says, Binance reporting that Ripple is integrated with Swift. Wouldn't surprise me. I think Swift capitulated a while ago when they started working with Chainlink, and they started testing blockchain technology. When you go back years ago, I can't remember who it was, if their president or something, or CEO, was like, yeah, we don't care about blockchain, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now they've capitulated, guys, because this thing is here to stay. Thanks, Captain Kirk. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up too. It's been over an hour now. And guys, like I said, two major takeaways. We are still in a bull market. There's been no invalidation. We just got to stomach the volatility as hard as it is. One thing I do, I don't look at my portfolio. I've learned that, because you look psychologically, you look at those numbers being down, even though I'm up, since the bear market significantly, I'm good. Like I made money on paper, of course. But to see the volatility is usually not good for your mental health. So my advice that I've learned, don't look at your portfolio unless it's absolutely necessary, right? So when the market starts moving up again, I'll look at my portfolio. So thank you, guys. I appreciate you all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Once again, check out newsletter, course, book, and sponsors. All the links will be in the description. Guys, I wish you all the best of luck in this bull market, that you make incredible returns and some life-changing money. And even if it's not life-changing money, you just walk away with some nice profits, guys. That's a win. Anytime you're making money, that's a win. All right, guys, talk to you all later.